Yo, what up? It's Tug from We Make Best, back with another Kano vid for you guys. So we finally got the Oldhim breakdown. This is by far the most requested, so finally got one up for you guys. I'd say the matchup is Kano favored when you know and understand your game plan going in, so I'll try to explain that real quickly. I like to go into the matchup with 4 things on my mind. So number 1 is setup. All E-Pots and Potion of Deja Vus, if I can, I'll want to play them on the first rotation of my deck. Once you just have 3 E-Pots and a D-Pot and an Imperial Edict out, there's just no stopping your combo. I don't care what deck it is, how much AB they got, like they can't stop your combo. So that's prior number 1. Number 2 is arsenaling your Tome of Fiendos and gaining the most health you can off of it. This helps us stall out the game, and also since I run snapbacks and shit, it also draws us up to 6 and we can start stripping them, like Kanoing off the top, hitting some stuff, blast them in the face, strip their hand. Like we gain a lot of tempo off that. Sometimes you get 15 to 21 health swings just off Tome of Fiendo from Arsenal. So that's step number 2. Step number 3 is just remembering your pitch stack order. I'm not big on pitching cards to the bottom just to like have it good next to another card, especially if you could just cast it that turn and like strip their hand. I find more value in that. But yeah, you just want to remember the order. So you want to pitch it 1 Blazing and 1 Aether Wildfire. I will say that. You want to pitch 1 each of those to the bottom, just so your second rotation of deck, like you have the combo in there. But besides that, you just want to remember. So I'll try to help you guys through this game with that and like tell you how I like to remember it. But yeah, that's step 3. Just remember your pitch stack. And then step number 4 is just paying attention to how the Oldhim is playing. So a lot of their offensive options are super telegraphed. So if you're going to shoot them for 4 and then the whole game they're A-Bing you out, crown, blah, 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 and then one turn they will take 4, like that's just the biggest telegraph that a pummel's coming or they have a fused Oakenold or something like that. So this can assist us in being able to block correctly. And yeah, so that's just the 4 things you want to remember going into older matchups. I just felt like this game displayed those 4 game plans the best out of all the footage that I've got versus Oldhims. So hopefully this shit will help you out, but let's get straight into it. Off the bat, Oldhim won the die roll and he chose to go first. And he also is running tectonic plating. So tech plating tells me that he's going to be a bit more aggressive than normal. To be noted, he still has AB3 with crown because he's running Arcane Lantern and Winter's Whale. And he also pitches a thump. So yeah, I even had to read that card. I don't even know what that does. But yeah, so it's simple. He just makes a tech and then swings with Winter's Whale. Gonna block with the 2 blues. Pretty simple. I am just looking to pitch the Blazing Aether to play the Blessing of Aether and then have a nice little setup turn. So, and then you want to Arsenal, get an Arsenal card every turn. So gonna look to Arsenal the Sonic Boom, but we've got a spare blue, so might as well Kano. Hopefully we hit an E-Pot or any other 0 in the deck, then it's not too bad. So the opponent crowns there. And then there is a lesson. So I remember I misclicked here. I didn't actually want to banish this because he can just AB it out. So if I did, yeah, gotta undo that. So I don't want to banish the lesson because he's got crown and AB3 still. And if I do pitch my Sonic Boom to Crucible and then lesson and then he just AB4s it, it's not a winning trade for me. I'd rather just keep the Arsenal slot, place it in my Arsenal, and then play this Blessing of Aether. It is good info though, now that we know that Blessing is on top, because, oh no, Blessing, lesson. But yeah, because it's it's good with the Blessing of Aether, because we can shoot him over the top with it, and then go find another one. But yeah, back to Oldhim. Just makes another Seismic Surge token, and then it looks like he's swinging in with the Winter's Whale. No Frosty on this one, so I am more inclined to take this. Though you always got to think about it because you do want to preserve your life as much as possible. But I'm not too phased on just taking a raw 4, especially since our turn's going to be pitching a lesson, or pitching a Swell Tidings for a lesson for 6. He AB4s it or whatever, and then we can use the spare blue and red to Kano into Blessings of Aether. And then just line up the next turn as well as stripping him a bit. So yeah, we'll take the 4 here. And then we're ready to just take all the tempo, pitching the red for lesson. And then yeah, like I said, even if he AB4s with the crown, still be able to go grab another Blessings of Aether, Kano it off the top and cast it. So decent spot for us off the bat. Yeah, it looks like he is going to AB it all out. Yep, so we get a buckle and a pummel, so not bad. To be noted as well, why I didn't block with the swell tidings, it is a little bit of points because we're putting the swell tidings on the bottom of our deck instead of blocking with them. So we get to keep the reds in our deck, keep our deck as strong as possible as we get to the later stages of the game. I do separate them out a little bit, just go swell tidings, blue, then swell tidings. So in the back of my head, I'm just remembering swell, blue, swell. Then we see our next hand. So I would have loved to be able to play this Aether Spindle off of the blue with the Blessings of Aether, but depending on what the opponent plays here, I am just going to block with it and a blue and then shoot the Sonic Boom, because I really want to Arsenal or play out this Imperial Edict, but it's a little bit awkward because if you play out the Imperial Edict, you're wasting your Blessings of Aether trigger, and we don't want to waste that. So the opponent makes another Seismic Surge, and then swings in with an Oakenold for 7. So no fuse, happy with that, but I'm just going to save health here. Double block, only have to take 1. Not bad, not bad. And then, yeah, just following the same game plan. Crucible, so Blessings triggered. We've also got Tunic on 3 now. And then we're going to blast him in the face with the Sonic for 7. So the opponent looks to Crown of Seeds, and he's probably going to AB as much as he can. But we're still going to chip over for huge damage. Still hit him for 3, and then hopefully we can hit a red spell off the top. Can't quite remember what I did hit off the top here. It's a red, not bad. So we get to blast him for another 3. To be noted, he didn't pitch any more as well to the 7. But then he does pitch here, so I was expecting a big turn, but since he showed me another blue for the snapback, we know we've reduced his offensive options. And then, yeah, like I said, play out this Imperial Edict. So this is a very awkward hand because we do want to play the E-Pot, the Edict, and the Tome of Fiendel next turn, but obviously we don't have 3 action points. None of them have go again, so it's very awkward right now. And the opponent adds on to that awkwardness with a Channel Lake Frigid. So super awkward, super awkward. The good thing is he doesn't swing in, so we do have options here. We just got to figure out what exactly is the option. Yeah, it looks like I just Kano first with the 2 blues since it's free. Just keep in mind that the Edict costs 2, E-Pot costs 1. Yeah, you can see me like mathing it all out. We hit an E-Pot off the top, so super lucky for that. So that costs 1. So now I'm less inclined to be wanting to play the E-Pot. Yeah, so since I got 1, I'm pretty happy with that. I'm happy to pitch the E-Pot to the Imperial Edict and just get it out. Yeah. Yeah, there was a little hesitation there, just seeing if I wanted to Arsenal the Tome or the E-Pot. And I do opt to put the Tome in the Arsenal because we got 1 E-Pot out and we got the Edict, so the setup's already looking pretty nice. So I'm not too mad that the E-Pot's going to the bottom. Opponent's just asking what card was named. Obviously, it's a bit of a weird card, so a lot of people don't understand what it's doing. So yeah, you see me just explaining to it. Yeah, also while that's going on, just keep in mind that we are bottoming 3 blues, so our pitch stack is looking swell, blue, swell, and then there was a blue for the Sonic Boom, and then 3 more blues. So after the second swell, we're going to have 4 blues. Then we just pass. So the bad thing with that turn was it was a pure setup turn, so we didn't probe him, we didn't try to strip his hand, so we have no knowledge if he has a strong hand or not. So it's a little awkward for that part. But that's alright, we set up 2 things and Arsenal to Tome, so we're very happy. And then the opponent comes in with a Thump. Yeah, so you see me reading that card because I have no clue what the fuck that is. But yeah, so we can see me just mathing out these blocks. Very awkward. I do want to just fire the Nourishing at him if we can get to my turn. But then, yeah, he does the pummel on the thump, and this catches me off guard. So I don't realize you have to discard twice here, which is pretty insane, I'm not gonna lie. So even though I played around the pummel, I got punished because I don't read thump. So yeah, big mistake on my half. Yeah, you can see me typing in chat, like, oh shit. So yeah, I really get got here. Because I think on my turn, I was ready. Since he had the Channel Lake, I didn't want to cast the Tome. I want to get max value for it. I was just going to shoot the Nourishing at him, force him to block with Plating, Crown, and a block. So that's a pitch, a block, and 2 blocks, which I would have been happy with, just to take a little bit of tempo. But yeah, just get absolutely blown out because I don't like reading apparently. So that sucks. So yeah, so all the tempos in the Oldhim's favor right now. Pass the turn back to him. Yeah, so super devoed. We're on the back foot here, but luckily we do have a Tome of Fiendo, so we should be able to steal back some tempo if we can. Opponent again starts with Tectonic Plating. But yeah, that thump pummel interaction is super impressive. Haven't even versed this before. Super strong. Never even realized that was a card. So really like the tech is from the Oldhim. But yeah, they start with Crown and a Surge. So he still has a Channel Lake out. I'm pretty sure there's no way he can triple ice here. And then he does swing in with the Command and Conquer. So this is the bad thing about not being able to probe their hand. I'm pretty sure I have to play around pummel here because I don't want to lose this Tome. I want to gain the value here. So I am ready to just drop my whole hand on it and not get pummeled. Not too sure if it's the correct play, because there is a chance that he just doesn't have it and he has an awkward hand, and then I'm paying him off for that. But the downside is if I do just double block and he pummels and then I discard and lose my Tome, I also didn't even have a card that I want to Arsenal. So I don't want to put the Blazing in Arsenal because I can get stuck in there, which is super problematic. So I do opt to just 4 block it, use the Tunic to play the Tome. Not the most value, but we get 2, gain 2 life, and we do draw a good Arsenal target with the Aether Spindle and a blue. So use the blue to Kano, we see a Tome of Fiendo on top. Keep that on top because our next turn, pretty simple. If we find a blue, which we do, we're gonna just block with 2 blues, Aether Spindle for 5, strip his hand, probe his hand, see what we're gonna be copping back, and then Arsenal the second Tome of Fiendo. So even off just Tunic, Tome of Fiendo, 1 card hand, feels like it gained us back into this game a little bit. Clawed our way back in, even though we quad blocked, even when we maybe didn't have to. But I guess we'll never know. So opponent's running Buckle, makes another Plating, another Seismic Surge. And then Earthlaw Surge. Oh, this is where he does the thump as well with it? Yeah, this is crazy. So it's just while his base attack is greater that it gains Dominate and then the pummel effect. Yeah, you can see me like, damn, I had never seen that combo before. And Earthlaw Surge is just an Earth card for Oldhim pitch, so on top of being a fuse for Oakenon, so crazy value, crazy. Little min-max I do here is blocking with the Aether Flare, and I'll discard the Quickening and keep the Voltic Bolt in my deck. It's just the higher damage blue going into the later parts of the game. So there's one thing to keep in mind. You want to try be blocking with your worser blues, depending on the options you have in your hand, when you have the option. Yeah, just me still fucking flabbergasted. But yeah, so we want to put this Voltic Bolt to the bottom of our deck. We'll be pitching that to Crucible and then Aether Spindle for 5. So this turn we should be able to probe them, gain a lot of value back, gain a bit of the tempo back in the game. Even though we just took a big hit from the buffed up thump and take a card from us. But yeah, still looking pretty good. Still on 16. Yeah, so opponent crowns, and I'm expecting an AB3. But he only AB2s, so not bad. So that usually tells me that he's got a bit more of an offensive hand. We see 2 reds on the top. I do opt to just bottom both. The things going in my mind with that is I don't want to draw them. I want to draw blues with the Tome of Fiendo, which we get unlucky with. But also the bottom of our deck is 5 or 6 blues after the Swell Tidy in a row. So we want to put some reds there. So once we get to that cycle of the deck, that it's a bit more oomph in it, you know what I mean? And then here the opponent has a Mangle. So yeah, like I said before, with the Aether Spindle, he didn't overpitch. He didn't pitch the extra card for the Spindle AB. So that tells me he has a Pummel here. The chances of him having a Pummel is fucking enormous. So we have to play around it. So instead of taking it and then taking 12, we're gonna put a 5 card in front, or 5 block in front. And then, yep, there's the Pummel. So now we can discard the Tome of Aetherwind. So it's not too bad, and then we do just gain some health back by pitching the Eye to Tome. I'm going to look for a card to Arsenal, so Quickening's a decent one, and a blue. So hopefully we can use that blue to Kano. Got 2 floating from the Eye still. So if we hit a red spell, it's good. If we hit E-Pod, it's good. Sadly, we probably hit one of the worst ones in the deck, which is just the Aether Flare, so we'll shoot him for 2. See if he wants to A-B it, which he doesn't. But that's not bad for us. We get him down to 30, and then we Arsenal a red card. And then another awkward hand where we're getting our setup cards in our hand all at once. So we have to choose which potion we want to be playing out. But the opponent swings with Endless Winter and does show us the Winter's Grasp. So this is fused. Me double checking the effects on Endless Winter. So it's a little bit awkward, because both of these cards don't block, but since they cost 0, it doesn't matter how many Frostbites I get. Well, I guess it matters if I block with 4, but that's another thing. So we're happy to take 3, take 2 Frostbites, because you can still play our card through it, whichever potion we want. The thought process going through with the potions is... Wait, was I playing that? I think I thought about playing the Quickening. Wait, no, I do play the Quickening, don't I? Yeah, I believe I play the Quickening here because I want to probe his hand over anything else right now. Just because I'm on 9. Yeah, since I'm such a low life total, I don't want to have a passive turn of just playing out an E-Pot and then not having a combo piece in the arsenal. So that means I can't really combo off with the Quickening unless I find exactly Aether Wildfire and a Blazing. So I want to probe his hand, see what he has, because I am under threat that I might die here. And then Arsenal the E-Pot that we can just block out, because yeah, the opponent didn't AB any of the Quickening, so I'm expecting a big turn from him here. So a little bit scared. Got to play a little bit defensively when you're under the teens, so you're under 10 life. But it is looking decent. So we've got good information here. So yeah, another Mangle. And like I said before, since he didn't AB the Quickening, we can very highly expect a Pummel. So I'll keep the Tome of Fiendo in my hand to discard the Pummel. And yeah, we still block 6. So we do take 5 here. Yeah, we take 5 down to 4. So it's a little bit scary, but see how probing their hand just really telegraphs what they're going to be doing to us. Whereas if I played the E-Pot out and then kept the blue in hand, it's a little bit more scary because I don't know whether I can block or not. We got less information. But yeah, back to us. I'm going to pop the Imperial Edict. I don't believe the opponent's playing Oasis, otherwise he'd probably have Tunic or something. So I do just name a random card. I name Pummel because it looks like he's playing Rainbow. Well, he is playing Rainbow. He showed us the blue at the start. And then, yeah, so name Pummel. See what the opponent's got now. I need to name Oasis. Yeah, played out the E-Pot, Arsenal Wildfire, and we're just at that setup part of the game. And then, yeah, the opponent plays Earthlaw Surge and then taps out for Endless Winter with no fuse. And yeah, like I said before, if you got the setup, even with a triple red hand and 1 yellow, no blue hand, as long as you got set up, like, you can just kill them. So I think you can catch me just doing the math here. And then, yeah, figure it out. Like 2 E-Pots and a Tunic is more than enough to send this 3 red hand to just combo you and kill you, especially when you're at 26. And then, yeah, I find a Blazing Aether as well on top of that. So pop all the potions. Opponent's just dead. Activate Rags. Find another red on top, which would normally be bad, but since we played to set up, it makes it all work, like makes it fine. And then, yeah, don't even need to do the math. Just full fire everything at him. Pop all the resources. Storm Sharders, Crucible, Aether Wildfire. Use the red to Kano off the other, Blazing Aether. And then, yeah, I think we just blow him up for like 35. So the opponent hits me with a yup. So I hit him with the yup back. GG's. But yeah, so as you can see, really pays dividends when you play for setup and play for your Tome Fiendos, just for the tempo. Hopefully this game displayed the 4 things I explained at the start of the game, that being the setup. Well, as you can see, the setup was insane, because even though we had a triple red hand, since we played to set up, our combo is still inevitable, so the opponent can never tap out, even when we have brick hands. So setup number 1, we didn't gain the most value off of our Tome Fiendos, but the health gained from those 2 Fiendos, which is only 4 all up, would be dead right now. So that helped us stall for an extra turn. So that's why those 2 are at the top. And then the number 3 was pitch stacking, so that one wasn't really displayed in this game, so that's why I wasn't too sure if I should upload this one, but that's all right. Maybe I'll do another one. But then also, yeah, number 4 with the probing their hand, so like trying to strip their hand, and then we make assumptions on what we're going to be copping back. So shooting them and then understanding if they're not going to double pitch to AB, that they've probably got a pummel or like a really good offensive hand, and then that helps us block correctly. But yeah, hopefully this matchup breakdown helps you guys with the Oldhim matchup a little bit, and hopefully it displays a bit of why I think Kano is a bit more favored in Oldhim than he is into us, because the clock is really on them. They have to kill us before we can set up. They have to really rush us down. But even when you find out that they're the more aggro Oldhim trying to kill us quick, that means we can just play for combo, because they tap out a lot more often. But yeah, hopefully this matchup breakdown helps you guys with the Oldhim matchup. For now, I'm out. Later.